Good morning, Dr. Kuljeet.
Good morning.
Very, very, yes, very, very warm welcome to you to the Women's Economic Forum.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for the delay. There was some technical glitch at my end, so I couldn't log in earlier.
That's all right. We get to hear you a little more then, So
shall I start?
No, I'll just introduce you.
Introduce me? All right.
Introduction, please. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Kuljit Uppal, the world's first image scientist, an impact strategist, and a CEO of Kriya. She's also the receiver of the Karamveer Chakra. She will be speaking to us today on the science of transformation and impact to reinvent and reboot. Over to you, Dr. Kaur.
Thank you so much, Vanita. Good morning, everyone, and I'm sorry for the little delay because of a technical glitch. We know we're all dependent on machines. So here I am today, and yes, as Vanita rightly brought out, the topic for today that I want to share is PRIM, the science of transformation and impact, to reinvent and reboot. Well, there are lots of things that are happening in the current scenario right now. It's a rapidly changing world with unparalleled dynamism in every sphere of life, be it technology and concepts or management ideologies or even mindsets of global citizens. And this dynamism also ushers the fact that competition is humongous and has spanned across all levels and profiles. And that makes it even more aggressive for each one of us in terms of our sustenance, in terms of our abilities to be able to stand out in a crowd of millions. And that is imperative today. We all know that because we have to make a mark for ourselves. We have to present ourselves in the right manner, that we are well acknowledged by people. We articulate flawlessly, we dress well, we speak well, we pull out the best in us to try and project ourselves in a certain manner. So we're in this constant struggle, and that's a fact. So we're here trying to improve on our interpersonal skills. We want to showcase ourselves as people of mettle, of people of worth, and so on and so forth. In other words, we are constantly in that endeavor to embrace newer skills, grow ourselves, enhance ourselves, evolve ourselves to be able to create the best impression on people. Now, my entire research, which is to do with persona and image management and the whole science behind it, today, in a kind of a nutshell, is what I'm going to present before you, which talks of the ability of every human being, of every individual, to be able to showcase or project herself or himself in the best possible manner, not just from the exterior, but where actually you're making a fundamental change within yourself, from your inner self, and then move to the exterior, and of course, then to your social self. So PRIM primarily is a subject that deals with everything to do with this journey of yours. Research has gone to show that apart from all of this struggle that we're doing, industry itself also looks at people who are wholesome packages today, and they're not just merely people who have some great technical qualifications and certifications to their credit. So it's extremely important that every person, whether you're a professional or not, every person is in this journey of having a rendezvous with yourself and then moving from there further to be able to become the best version of yourself. And like I said, organizations want their workforce. Entrepreneurs are working hard in their own way. We've seen that in the pandemic, there have been so many jolts that every person has had. It's probably been the worst catastrophe ever since the Second World War. That's my personal belief. And we've all been reeling under pressure. And while some have succumbed, some have hung around, some have stayed afloat. There have been a variety of stories. But at the end of the day, it's also brought to light that probably we are not very well equipped in terms of the skills we have acquired from our education system to be able to survive times of adversity, especially in, let's say, the case of the pandemic, which has been roaring its way into our lives in the negative dimension over the last 2 years. And we have felt the pressure as we moved along. So what is it that we can do so that we can enhance ourselves in such a way that we strengthen ourselves like warriors from within, and then move on to be able to not only survive, but also thrive and revive completely. So this whole journey of transformation and impact so that we're able to reinvent and reboot is exactly what we're talking of. So let me just quickly go by the three different prongs that I typically talk of PRIM. So I always like people to imagine that PRIM is like a divine trident of sorts, which has three prongs to it. The first one being persona management, which is everything to do with your personality, with your inner value system, with your core foundation, with your beliefs, ethics, attributes, all of that, in terms of what do you project to the outside. But firstly, what are you made up of? Who are you from the inside? What are your systems from inside? How are you wired? How do you think? How do you react and respond to certain things? What is your behavior like? And so on and so forth. Because that becomes extremely important for us. Whatever you think, remember, a thought triggers an action, and an action done repeatedly creates a habit, and that habit finally determines your character and your reputation. So it's extremely important that your thoughts are the right ones, and they are triggered off by systems that you have inculcated from within that are well thought of, that are well devised in alignment with your value system. So your values have a very, very important role to play in all of this task. And coming to the next one, which is the image management part, that's the second prong. That, as per, again, my research, which has defined using a lot of statistical methods, 6 primary things that get involved in this whole process of image management, which talks of your verbal skills, your body language, your etiquette, your self-concept, your grooming. And all of this has a huge role to play in terms of how you carry yourself in front of people. So you have the self-concept, which is definitely your developmental levels of yourself from inside, but you also have the other things in terms of how you say things. What do you say when you talk to people? The tone with which you speak, the kind of body language you exude from inside and outside, the kind of eye contact you have, the kind of impressions you have when you use gestures. Similarly, what do you dress in? Because at the end of the day, it is your second skin, right? Your clothing is your second skin. The world sees you in it all the while. So what kind of clothing are you, using for yourself? Does it kind of go in alignment with your value system, or are you just trying to maintain a facade of sorts, which is certainly not what we're talking of. When we talk of image, we talk of an authentic representation of yourself. Then what kind of manners do you have? What kind of etiquette do you follow? Are you aware of what happens globally? What happens in various cultures? All of that takes a very solid shape right there, because people are looking at you in the way you carry yourself and behave. And that's exactly how you will project and be perceived by people in that same manner. And of course, how you groom yourself. Then comes in the other element of your strategic self-management. How do you manage yourself? Now, strategic self-management is more to do with a set of skills that help you to manage your social self and your professional self. So it's a cluster of selves that make you more productive. And that includes skills like leadership, time management, networking skills, negotiation skills, and most importantly, the WHO 10 life skills, which are thinking skills, communication skills, and of course, again, self-management skills, which work towards self-growth, towards constantly contributing to your personal and professional self, and consequently, of course, a better work environment for yourself as well as your co-workers. So this cluster of skills helps you to become more productive and be able to strategically plan and manage yourself and your life. So all of these 3 prongs together form PRIM. And in fact, there is a very important model that has been created. It's called the PIT model. The PIT is basically the PRIMPACT Integrated Transformation Model. And this is a powerful framework that engages with the inner and outer dimensions of an individual through systematic and structured integration of vigorous tools put together, and builds a long-term, potent and sustainable skills, a set of skills for every person's advantage. And this model is a framework, like I said, for individuals who want to survive, revive, and thrive by empowering themselves from the inside as well as the outside. It's like a blueprint to strengthen yourself to be a warrior, not from the inside only, but also from the outside. And it's extremely important to be able to do that, especially because of the pandemic era, which has brought in new realizations of struggle. You know, this has ushered in solutions, fortunately in one way, for survival, for sustenance, and PRIM offers a legit solution for individuals for their interpersonal, for their psychosocial and affective skills that are crucial to personal and professional development of individuals. It's extremely important to understand that as much as you pay attention to your technical skills, and enhance yourself on all your professional fronts. The core essence of what you are, the fabric of your personality, is determined by PRIM. And that cannot be ignored. You have to start your journey today or tomorrow, whenever, the earlier the better. Start your journey of having that rendezvous with yourself, understanding what do you stand for, what do you represent, what describes you, what kind